वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम. Yes, so we are
Hari.
now into the last part of the Isha Upanishad. We are still in the third moment as identified by Sri Aurobindo, the third moment of the Isha Upanishad. We are looking at it. If we recognize, we saw there were two extremes in the Upanishad. One was Vidya and the other was Avidya. And both have their limitations and both can trap. One ends into darkness, another ends into a greater darkness. That was the point that was conveyed. That is the biggest question, isn't it? How does one enter into a greater darkness on the path of Vidya? Ignorance, we know it is in ignorance you are going away from the truth, you are going into darkness. That is very understandable. But what about knowledge? How can we enter those seekers of knowledge? How can they all enter into darkness? It's a very interesting paradox that is put in front of us by this Upanishad. Anybody?
They need to be led by, like a light. They need to be led by a guru.
Or the divine, if we can say the leader is there, the divine's job is to take one from darkness to light. That is true. But but what happens many times, it is a knowledge which is exclusive, which is making us suddenly disconnect from the truth which is present everywhere in this world. Suddenly, I start believing my knowledge or whatever knowledge I have gained is far superior or far too exclusive. It is too great compared to somebody else. I have realized I am that. I have now realized it. This understanding also is a limitation. The Kena Upanishad says only somebody who does not know will have that, what we can say, a kind of a vacuum created for the knowledge to flow into that person. But when the person says, enough, I know already, you cannot learn anything. And that is a danger
No,
sometimes. Yes, Shashiji, you were adding something?
I was just going to say, ego always stands in the way of
Ah,
light, doesn't it?
yes. Yes, ego stands in the way of light. And unfortunately, even in the Gita, it is said all of us have ego. This Srishti has been created. Man is mana, buddhi, ahankar. These are all there along with the other factors, what we can say. All of these are present. So we have to be careful that we don't get trapped into another darkness. I have learned this much. I know this much. This much is useful for me. Everything else is unnecessary or useless. Recently, somebody said, I don't know what is the point of studying in Upanishad itself. How useless is it? It does not help me in any way in everyday life. I don't understand it. But just because an individual does not understand its practical utility does not mean it has nothing. 5,000 plus years ago, the rishis did realize something. And that wisdom of the rishi was useful in creating such awakenings in so many people. So those who seek with a understanding that yes, I know, but I don't know so much, they will not be trapped. They will never be trapped. They will be open, they'll be malleable, their egos are going to be probably molded by the divine to turn towards the light. But there is this exclusive knowledge. Just one more example I can just think of was from a more practical example, because that was the question. Vedanta is not practical. That was a statement made by so many people, but it's not. Somebody I know, a director of a particular institute, I had gone to invite him for a particular event. And so I just went to him and he started asking me my background. So I just told something about the NGO that I work for and these are the projects. And there was one word Veda came out. He said, "What is Veda?" He started taking my it was like an interview for a job which I did not apply for. And I had just gone as a messenger to invite him. But he began asking me what is Veda. So Veda means knowledge. Haha, that and all I know. Everybody knows that. But tell me, what is Veda? I said, sir, Veda, it begins with the Agni Sukta, and I started saying Agnim Purohitam. No, 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 stop. As if I'm a tape recorder, he told me stop. And said, what is it? No, no, who wrote the Vedas? I said, the Vedas were compiled by Vyasa. Yeah, that is the word, compiled. What do you know? I said, sir, I do not know much, but I have come to invite you for something else. No, no, but come to this point first. What about the Vedas? I said, sir, there are so many mandalas. Each is dedicated. A rishi has, like each set of rishis have compiled according to their style, and they have made different different suktas. They have each of them got some kind of vision. What vision they understood, that was something. I tried explaining to him. And then he said, so Vyasa has not written it. I said, no, sir, that's what I told you. Vyasa has not. That's what I wanted to test. I was like, wow, I got a free exam also without my asking. And then he said, I have attended a workshop on the Veda. And very interestingly, and he said it's an online workshop for these many days. But because he said the same number of days, I just remembered because I knew somebody who had started a workshop. I said, by any chance, did you do the workshop under this person? Because there was a paid workshop, no, the Vedas in 299 rupees. So he had, he just, yes, I have done that workshop. I said, okay, sir, I know he's my neighbor. It is very nice to hear about it. But actually, in my heart, I knew that what is, but the moment he told me that this workshop, so he has purchased the wisdom for 299. And the person who is teaching was also a very interesting person because he had just met me a couple of days before saying he cannot tolerate the ignorance of the world and how people are going into darkness, and now he is talking that way. Those who are learning from him are speaking in the same manner. And at the same time, I could hear abusive words hurled by him because he was a neighbor. Throughout, he would use such words. And one side, this is going on. So, what has happened is an imbalance has happened, and the person who is actually thinking he has received a knowledge is not really received any knowledge. And there's a greater darkness. Somebody who does not know can actually easily be pointed out, and maybe that person can be corrected. But somebody who knows and who, or who thinks he knows and has not realized, it's a great danger. And that is the problem of Vidya. So we must never start claiming to understand, claiming to know certain things, or I have realized thus, so I am complete. Even gurus are never complete because every single day they are not saying, my life is now complete, sadhana is over, now I just want to pass on. Even the greatest gurus continuously are in the process of sadhana. Why did Sri Aurobindo just not stop? Why did he stop? Why did he not stop? Just sit in, I don't need to do anything. I have written so much. I just have to now just pass on, keep blessing people. I know he said, no, I want to realize, I want to go, I want to manifest a possibility. And he kept every moment, even from the subtle physical, the sadhana goes on because the entire aspect of learning never stops. So this is a danger. Many times half knowledge, half wisdom makes person really, really dangerous because that person can totally distort everything, and that person can destroy the individual himself, who himself or herself, whoever is having it. And that is a warning in this Upanishad that Vidya, those who are going on this path of Vidya are going to get trapped. Avidya also. So let us continue further into this Upanishad. Because only somebody who is able to see both as one, who are able to understand Avidya and Vidya, just because somebody may appear dumb, somebody may appear not powerful enough, somebody may appear not so great, one cannot dismiss the divinity. If you are able to perceive as an integral observer or an integral seeker of truth, you will see divinity in every living being, every living thing. Because when you do that, then you are saved. You are saved from what? Your ahankar only, your greatest enemy sitting inside. That will, you are saved from getting trapped into a life of ignorance. This particular shloka is very interesting. How he who integrally perceives both as one, and in knowledge and ignorance sees distinctions none. The state of death by ignorance he transcends, and by knowledge into immortality he extends. He gets that higher knowledge and he reaches that higher truth. Just like that, there is another duality. of manifestation and dissolution, of Sambhuti and Asambhuti. We had stopped at the first duality we had covered. Now we come to the second one, which is covered by this Upanishad. Andha tamah pravishanti ye asambhutim upasate tato bhuya ivate tamo yau sambhutyam rataha. The state of non-birth, those who seek and pray, into the dark realms devoid of light they stray. Only that which is born, those who perceive and comprehend, into even more darkness they verily descend. This is a very interesting aspect. Just once more, I will read that out and let us look at it. The state of non birth, those who seek and pray, into the dark realms devoid of light they stray. Only that which is born, those who perceive and comprehend, into even more darkness they verily descend. Anybody would try to take a guess on what this can mean? Asambhuti, the non-birth, those who only seek that I just want to escape from this cycle, they are not able to escape just by the thinking of it. And those who are saying nothing has manifested. Would you like to try something, Shashiji? What do you think this could imply?
The only thing I can think is that, knowing and understanding are two different things.
Uh-huh.
And just knowledge is not enough. You have to live it, experience it in order to move forward.
Yes, Ji. Yes, yes, yes. Because if you just understand many times, I have, like people say, enough, I've had enough of this. Now I want, they know of one person saying, I have had enough experience. Now I just want moksha. I don't want to come back again. Um, it's nice to say that, no? But can we guarantee that by saying that?
No, I think basically the motto should be the more I know, the less I know.
Yeah.
That reins the ego in.
Yes, absolutely. And means one is the another realm which somebody seeks of a non-birth or dissolution or extinction. A person goes on to that path of seeking complete withdrawal. That is also a dangerous path. And another one says, what is Sambhuta, what is Pratyaksha, what has manifested only I believe. What is unmanifest I do not see. These people go into a greater darkness again. Because there is many times we have seen, I think there is no God, there is no divinity, there is no higher purpose. There is, I don't see any reality, I don't see any practical outcome of doing certain things which are not giving me any quantific results. So I reject all of it. This is a dangerous approach, isn't it? Just because I don't understand certain thing does not mean it will never, everything in the world will not comply only to my understanding. There are things beyond my understanding, but for that I have to be open. I cannot just become so comfortable and limited in my own, because many times it's very comfortable, no? When things go according to your logic, you are able to predict things, you are able to control things. That is the nature of human beings also. Every situation, every system, we try to create a system which will fit our logic.
Mhm.
Anything beyond that, we either reject the system or we reject the people who are trying to go beyond that logic. Vijayaji wants to add something, is it Vijayaji?
Yes, Ji. I was
Yes.
wondering, so that is where the faith comes in, right?
How is it, Ji? How do you
I'm just,
connect faith with this?
yeah, because when you're telling me, I just looking at a train, I'm just standing in a railway station. I look,
Hmm.
there is a track,
Hmm.
and there is a train coming up. But initially, I look only the light. So I don't believe the train is coming. Okay, then having faith that in a railway station train will come, then slowly I wait for it. Okay, this becomes a logic plus a patience. But after listening to you speak, what I think is there is when I have to believe that there is something beyond my understanding, then what comes is the faith. Is that right, Ji?
Yeah, when I have the last question, Ji, the last question, because I understood now the analogy to some extent, but what was the question? The last one
Question
you
was
asked now?
that if I have to believe beyond my mind, am I
Okay.
audible, Ji? If I have to
Yeah, yeah,
believe
yeah.
beyond my mind, then I
Yeah.
need to get the tool called faith, right? If I don't have
Faith.
faith, then I go
Hmm.
behind logic.
Faith can help you, but sometimes there is in faith only. I have a faith that this much on everything works according to a certain way. Because one person I know is a very faithful. Just very recently, I had the good chance of interacting with that person.
Mm,
That person was absolutely against every ritual that is performed in a temple. He said that this is
mm,
not resulting in any. You are not doing service. A simple question. He was like, "What are you going to get by offering a payasam to the deity?
mm,
Instead, offer it to some poor person."
mm.
That is his
Okay.
faith, no? He's not a God, he was not a non-believer at all.
Okay. So somewhere there
So
should be a balance, but I don't, I'm just
yeah,
confused.
yeah. No, no, faith is a very personal thing. It's a different thing because everybody will have a different faith. Somebody who is believing the opposite also is the faith only, no?
Absolutely. Ji. Even no God is also a faith.
Yeah, that is also a faith. That is also a faith. So this question, more than the faith, it is about the darkness of once we can say rigidity that comes in. That is why rigidity must be totally taken out of our personality. I am so and so. The moment we make ourselves rigid, we cannot really learn and grow.
Definitely, Ji. Just one more thing. I wanted to just, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. No,
I'm
no,
still
no,
confused with,
sorry needed. Please
no,
continue. Yes, Ji.
I'm still confused with it. If I could not see through my mind, then I will not believe. I will not see. So to believe, I need that space. So there
Who
is
is
my
believing? The
confusion.
mind is believing, no, Ji. Sometimes
Okay.
there is the mind, but this Upanishad, we said it has to transcend way. The means Upanishad says the Brahman cannot be understood by the mind.
Mm,
The mind understands only according to the logic. So we must at
mm.
least be ready to
Then how will we be open? Ji, I'm
no, be
just
open to
thinking.
things which are my mind understands this, but there are things beyond my understanding also. I
Okay.
do not have to
Okay.
make everything conform to my understanding. Like, for
Mm,
example, what we are doing now with the Upanishad, I am not claiming to have understood the essence of this
mm.
Upanishad. It is like just a child is trying to look at certain new toys and trying to understand how to use them, isn't it?
Okay.
But
Okay.
it is trying to do something. It is attempting. We're not dismissing the entire Upanishad. Ki, hey, I don't really see how it's going to increase my bank balance. How is it going to increase my sales? How is it going to increase my net outcome or anything like that? But instead, we are trying to see maybe let us look at these 5,000-year-old verses. Maybe let us try to see if it is having some sense. Let us try to
Mm,
understand it with a here, if you
mm.
say Shraddha is there, yes, we have Shraddha in our ancestors,
Shraddha.
maybe.
Exactly.
We have
Okay.
that
Okay.
Shraddha, maybe. But
Perfect,
Shraddha
Ji.
alone is not Shraddha, it will come from experience.
Ah,
We will have to
exactly, Ji.
become silent. We will have to become silent. And one of the ways of becoming silent is using the mind to make it silent rather than make it excited.
Very true, Ji. Keep the mind silent and you see the
Yes, and
path.
this it will come to us. Maybe a child might suddenly understand. Somebody may say, what is this? Why it is so pointless? Why is the child playing with toys? But I think as
Yeah,
parents, I think as a parent, Vijayji, you understand the importance of toys or poetry or other things, colors and all of they are
absolutely.
important, no, for a child's growth.
Yes,
Because
yes,
today
totally.
it may look very useless, it may look pointless, but at least the ability to go beyond that will help a child widen its perception, isn't it? And
Absolutely,
receive
Ji.
receive so something like that when we understand, say maybe I am a particular follower of a say Advaita philosophy, you may
Mm,
be a particular follower of Dvaita philosophy.
yeah.
It's fine,
Okay.
isn't it
It's
fine?
fine. It should be
it is
fine for me.
it
Only
is
then
yeah, yeah, I mean, it is absolutely it is fine because that freedom is there for each person to take it, isn't it? The moment I
absolutely, Ji.
try to convert you and force you, no, you must go to this only, that becomes a rigidity, no?
Yeah, rigidity. And also, I don't believe in what God is then. That concept also. When I try to force others to come to my own
No,
way,
no,
then I don't
yeah, that,
understand
that
God.
maybe I have not understood fully, but that is a different aspect. Ji. Believing is, I can believe,
Okay.
means, for example, now Vijayaji is not related to me, but I call Vijayaji Vijaya Akka.
Ah, okay.
Is that a belief? Is that a belief? Or is it my experience?
Uh, should be experience.
It is an experience. An experience has, it doesn't
Absolutely.
have to come by some particular logic, isn't it, Vijayji?
Absolutely, Ji. I understand this. Experience is
Yes.
what comes as an answer.
Yes. So when we
Okay.
become probably silent, why we meditate on these verses is because it's interesting to see. Yeah, yes.
Ah,
Like in scientists, we have something called a null hypothesis. Another is called
mm,
an alternate hypothesis. Any research
okay.
begins with one of the two hypotheses. What
Ah,
happens in the end in the research? One of
we
the two
go either one of
hypotheses
things.
comes true, no?
True. Absolutely, Ji. I
One
get a
the
clarity.
yeah, so for example, this phone is not working. If I begin a research saying this phone is not working,
Okay.
and then when I fail in that research, I will understand that this phone is working, isn't it?
Yes, I
So
get the
just
point.
yes, Vijayji. So we
Wait for
just
your
have to,
experience. Yeah,
yes, the
understood.
experience shall come. Is that is one thing which is really there in any seeker. That is why Vedanta is also about the same thing, aspiring,
True, Ji.
seeking, and growing. And we don't really have to worry. And the beautiful aspect is we don't have to think we are early or we are late. There is no
Okay.
level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Maybe this Kavi, Manishi, Paribhu, Swayambhu have been, these are states of ascension. Yes, that is
Okay.
there. But does not mean Kavi will suddenly get a experience of, will not get an highest experience of somebody who is into the highest state of consciousness. Anybody can
Mm,
rise, anybody can fall. It's like so flexible and malleable, everything.
absolutely.
The spiritual path is
Agree.
like that. So I cannot just because maybe I memorized a n number of verses, maybe I performed very well in an oration, or maybe somewhere I have particularly repeated these verses and studied so many times. That does not mean I will have more knowledge than a person who has never read any of the verse. I
Absolutely.
should be ready that while I'm blabbering or parroting a verse, suddenly from somewhere one person is going to give me a knowledge which 100 times also I did not receive. I may get it from that person. That time I should be ready to be receiving from that person. I should not be suddenly rigid. Ki, no, who is this person or how can this person speak without
Mm.
any? Isn't it, Vijayji?
Yes, yes, Ji. I get a
And
clarity now.
that is the higher means our great saints also they would say the same thing or how divyatvache jethe prachiti tethe karam ajhe zurati means wherever I see the divinity my hands fold there
Fold.
towards that in namaskars to that divinity. That is an important aspect to understand, to
Understood,
be
Ji.
ready like
Ready. Okay.
Adi Shankaracharya was so young, isn't it?
Mm.
And yet he was so realized.
Absolutely, Ji. I get a
Could I
clarity.
look at if I come across on the road somebody who is having the great tejo of Adi Shankaracharya?
Ah.
Maybe I know Adi Shankaracharya is now. If I get some replica figure, also I might feel like doing namaskar. But I'm just saying, a random person. If I find that person having a great knowledge and
Mm.
I am seeing that, will I have to measure? Will I have to measure? Oh
Mm.
no, no, his beard length is not this much yet. This person's
Okay.
hair has not become white yet. This person is not speaking in this particular language, or I will recognize it and go ahead. No, I should try to learn
Absolutely.
from that person. It is so
Mm.
simple as that. So
Be ready.
here,
That's what you said.
yes,
Open
yes,
is
yes,
being
yes.
ready.
Openness to both. Opposite means whatever I know, God can make the exact opposite happen. And
Very
yet,
true.
I should not lose my state of balance because that is where the problem happens. I mean, yesterday, the person who was speaking was a great karma yogi, a very learned person, whoever was talking to me.
Mm.
But while that person was speaking, to convey the point, words were very sharp.
Okay.
Now, what is Krishna has told, no? Vak tapasya in the
Very
Bhagavad
true.
Gita. Your words have to have humility in them. If knowledge is giving you arrogance, question
Then
mark
it's
on the
not
words.
knowledge.
What is there? Where has it knowledge? Yes, the knowledge may be there, but that knowledge is being masked by gunas. Maybe Rajas guna may make a person very aggressive. Tamas guna may, like for example, now I am trying to talk on on Upanishad, which is a source of Brahma Vidya. But
Mm.
gunas in me are going to become the interference, isn't it? I will have to try to go to that highest, aspire at least, ki let my gunas or our gunas in Marathi, that's a very nice word. The wrong
Mm.
gunas. Let that not come in the front to spoil it. If I speak with
Yes.
arrogance and start dismissing something else, that will again be Rajas Guna coming. We will look at it in the Gita later, of course. Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. There in the
Yes, Ji.
Gita also, Krishna says Sattva also is limited, no?
Sattva also
Sattva also,
limited. You should. Mm.
Sattva is also limited by its own goodness. Some people are always goody goody that they don't know how to raise their voice for what is wrong. We can't get trapped there also, isn't it? If that divine, if we understand that some truth has to manifest somewhere, somebody will have to speak the truth, no, even if it's inconvenient, just because it doesn't
Yes.
sound sweet and good. So again, no limitations is what the Upanishad talks about. That's why it throws dualities. If you see from the beginning, it tells us something. It talks about recognizing the divine first. Everything belongs to the divine, and then immediately, if everything belongs to divine, why should I do any work? Is the easy thought of the human being. Immediately the
Yes.
shloka says, next shloka says, Kurvanneveha karmani. No, no, you have to do your works for 100 years. It
Correct.
just continuously, this entire Upanishad keeps talking. Then it takes you, how is the Brahman? Oh, he's so far. Acha, he's far. No, no, but he's so close also. But he's
Also,
inside also. He's inside also, he's outside also. He is non-motile and yet crossing all the things that are moving. Now, what is happening is it is again, it's not actually contradicting itself, the Upanishad. It is actually asking us to break the limitations of my mind and understanding how beautiful it will be. Means like look at means that is means the limitations are always like they say no, think out of the box. Well,
yes.
where is the
Break the
box actually in
limitations.
physically? Yes, in physicality there is no box. It is the limitation of the mind that is preventing us from realizing it. Sri Aurobindo in Alipur jail was able to transcend so many things. Same way in
Yeah.
Mandalay prison, if our Lokmanya Tilak Maharaj, he wrote in prison, isn't it? The Gita Rahasya.
Yes. Yes. My
What
favorite.
happened? Where did he have? Which large language model, which GPT he had with him to help him understand there or give him other experiences? But he got that,
True.
isn't it?
True. Ji.
So
I get
this
the point.
aspect, this is like that duality is what we should transcend. The first duality that was asked, if you see everywhere we see that, but one was about manifestation,
Mm.
and the first was Vidya and Avidya. Vidya and
Okay.
Avidya. Means a wise person should does he have to have a degree, Vijayaji?
Not necessarily, Ji.
Not necessary. But a wise person should not have a degree. Is that a necessity?
Absolutely not,
That is
Ji.
also not, isn't it?
Absolutely not.
So these are the two. So like that, Vidya
Understood.
and Avidya. Like that, there is another part which is a Sambhuti and the Asambhuti.
Okay.
Manifestation, birth and non-birth. Somebody says, no, 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 nothing. Nothing. Everything that is beyond only is the truth. What is in the birth is no truth at all. That is again a
Okay.
problem, isn't it?
Yes, Ji. Got it. So you not be
And
rigid,
there,
be open.
yes, and then there is another problem. That which has not come to the front or that which is not manifest, that only is truth. If you start thinking, you will get into a greater trap. I don't
Okay.
say God, so God does not exist.
Okay.
Show me one scientist who has perfectly proven that non-existence of God is there. It's not possible, isn't it? That is not
Yes.
yet true.
Yes.
Because the limitations of our perceptions. Supra perception possibility is there, which is beyond everywhere. Approximations are done, no, in science, and yet there are steps which are ahead. So there is a second duality. I think if it is okay, we can proceed, isn't it,
Sure,
Vijayji?
Ji. Sure, Ji. Absolutely, I'm
Yeah.
convinced. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ji. Thank you. Hari Om. So let us look at the 13th shloka. Anya Anya devahur sambhavan anya dahur sambhavat iti shushrumad hiranam yenastad vicha chakshire. At one end lies that which comes from manifestation. At the other lies what becomes by dissolution. The doctrine of the awakened we have thus received, and their ancient wisdom we have heard and conceived. These wise sages also are not talking about themselves. The wise sages are saying, see, thus, that is why the elders, the ancient ones have thus told. One end is this, the other end that. So they are understanding these words of the dhira. Those who are. Dhira again is a very beautiful term. In Gita also we will see somebody who is steady, who is stable. Stable at what times? At all times. Whether somebody criticizes you, whether somebody praises you. whether you are in a good phase or a bad phase of life, whether whatever is happening, if you are able to maintain that poise, you are worthy of being called the Dhira. Gita tells you you are worthy of attaining the highest realization also. You are converting the life experiences as an opportunity for sadhana. No matter what the circumstances, you are keeping the balance and you are only connected to the truth. Sometimes it becomes very hard, isn't it? You try to walk on the path of truth, and the closest people you know or you want to be as your companions on the path of truth, they are only walking on the opposite path. They're using falsehood at every line and every moment, and it shakes us. Well, this is Upanishad is saying, don't get shaken. Don't get shaken. Remain balanced because understand this is one side, this is another side. All these, if you look at them as circumstances in the play of the divine, you are free, you are free, you are free, and you are ready to transcend. Let us continue. So, at one end lies that which comes from manifestation, at the other lies what becomes by dissolution. The doctrine of the awakened we have thus received, and their ancient wisdom we have heard and conceived. Sambhutim cha vinasham cha yastad vedo bhayam saha vinashena mrityam tirtva sambhutya tamritam ashnute. He who perceives as one, manifestation and dissolution, and in both sees no great distinction. In dissolution beyond death he transcends, and in birth, immortality he experiences and comprehends. So beautiful this verse is. Just let us look at it once more. He who perceives as one, manifestation and dissolution, and in both sees no great distinction. In dissolution, beyond death he transcends, and in birth, immortality he experiences and comprehends. The highest Amrit, what is the Amrit of the Veda, what is the Soma, that is experienced by this person. Who is that? That awakened one who is able to understand that one, whether it is manifestation or it is dissolution. These are both just two sides of one coin of this creation. If he is able to understand that, such a person is not going to have any other disturbance or fluctuation from that consciousness. He is in that Brahmic consciousness. So, whenever death does come to such a person, that person's death is nothing but just an awakened state of continuation in the next journey. And in life, that person is already what they call the Jivan Mukta. He has already experienced the freedom, an absolute freedom. Nothing can experience, they can disturb the experience of such a person. Because there are so many realms in life which we don't know, because we are in our everyday lives. No? Like, for example, I may know what's going on in my locality. Can I claim to know everything that's happening in another locality where I've never visited? It's not. But if I live my life entirely in my locality only and think my locality only is the truth, I will never get that experience. So, this ability to come out of our own experiences and then aligning and becoming one with the supreme consciousness, that is a liberating experience. So many rishis have got this, so many great seekers. If you see, why do so many in India we have so many gurus who have reached so many highest of highest states of consciousness? Why do people go there? Because of that state of consciousness, you are able to receive so many people's different doubts get cleared. Sometimes there are occult experiences which are not understood for the person receiving the experience only. And yet this person goes and speaks to another awakened soul, and that awakened soul who may not even have read that person or understood that person's occult experience is able to give the significance of it. How is it happening? Because it is an awakening of connection with the highest consciousness. So you will reach that consciousness, you will experience. It is like, how do we imagine you get a connection to the knowledge base of something which is the knowledge of everything. What will happen to us there? At this moment, if you say, my head will explode because I will not be able to process half of the things. But maybe if I try to rise beyond my limitations, maybe, if I become calm, if I become quiet, what is required. I will be in what we call laya, in that same flow of consciousness, where I will be able to perfectly relate to another person. I'll be able to perfectly understand things around me, and I will be perfectly at peace. And that peace is nothing but the peace of liberation. That liberation can happen in this birth itself, is what we can see in this shloka. This is also in accordance with the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, become peaceful right in the middle of this battle. Ihaiva tairjitaha sargo. He says, here itself, what are you looking for? Somebody gave you a pamphlet. In Swarga Loka, you will get 5 BHK. So you feel you are going to get happy there. No, this birth itself become free. You can become free. Now don't wait for 100 more births or 50 more births. This birth itself, this freedom can be obtained. What Sri Aurobindo calls a terrestrial realization. It is possible. For that, we have to have that understanding. The opposite aspect also we should understand. One is so this aspect, this Upanishad talks about Sambhuti and Asambhuti. Somebody who is able to do that, he is free, just like Vidya and Avidya. So with this, the third moment does get over. And then we are ready to enter into what is the 14th, what we can say, fourth moment, which is the verse number 15 onwards. Sri Aurobindo has called it the 15, fourth moment to start from verse 15 of the Isha Upanishad. If you see, I'll just quote a few words from Sri Aurobindo only. Sri Aurobindo has said this very beautifully. He has said that life has to be transcended in order that it may be freely accepted. The works of the universe have to be overpassed in order that they may be divinely fulfilled. The soul, even in apparent bondage, is really free and only plays at being bound, but it has to go back to the consciousness of freedom and possess and enjoy universally. Not this or that, but the divine and the all. Once more, I would like to read the Master's words. Life has to be transcended in order that it may be freely accepted. The works of the universe have to be overpassed in order that they may be divinely fulfilled. The soul, even in apparent bondage, is really free and only plays at being bound. But it has to go back to the consciousness of freedom and possess and enjoy universally, not this or that, but the divine and the all. How beautiful it is. I mean, we feel sometimes we are bound and we are hopeless and we are in such difficulty, but that time also the soul is only playing a drama. Where actually, if we really understand it, we can be free. We can understand that these are just the ripples. These are the ripples on the surface, but on the inside, the consciousness is always dense, dense ananda only, which is not going to change. And that is what is something which has to be understood, that this is our consciousness. We belong to that consciousness. It's never lost. We think we have lost the connection. Sometimes we do some very nice sadhana for a few days and then we lose the ability to sit for some circumstance and we suddenly feel I lost my connection. The connection is not lost at all. It is there. It is always there. We just have to probably, whenever we get that moment, we understand that that moment also was taken away by the divine. It will be brought by the divine. My side, I just have to try. I have to keep trying and trying to go back into that consciousness. Not specifically sharing this is not this or that, but the divine and the all. How beautiful it is. We need not make choices, we need not make limitations. Let us become free. So that is very much in the rhythm of what the Isha Upanishad talks about. And now let us see what is the last part of the Isha Upanishad, which is the most interesting part. Here the base was set. Base was set, the dualities were put in front of us. All the dualities that are there, they have just been kept. See, this is one, this is one. If you think they are exclusive, you think they are two different, you are going to get trapped. Real freedom is in recognizing the oneness. Gita also says that, no, the saint and the sinner. If you can see them as one, you are the real progressor. You are the one who is able to understand. So let us continue though. We go to the last part of this Upanishad, which is the fourth moment. Let us see. This is a very beautiful verse. हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितं मुखं तत्त्वं भूषणमपावृणो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टयेत्. This is so beautiful. Truth's reality is always veiled by a gleaming lid of gold. It lies in a vessel concealed. This cloak, O nourisher of life, please unveil. May the light of eternal truth verily reveal. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham. So it is like the reality of truth. How is it? It is like in a lid, in a vessel. That vessel is having a golden lid. So just imagine a vessel having a lid made of gold. What happens? People get confused by the brilliance of gold, isn't it? You feel that is the truth. That is everything. But no, there is also a mirage. That is what is being told. That gleaming lid of gold is not the truth. The truth is inside of it. And so here the Deva Pushan, the god is called, who is the nourisher of all living beings, that divine deity responsible for nourishing and raising every living being. Break that lid and let the truth be revealed. Satya dharmaya drishtaye, meaning let me understand what is the Satya dharma. Let the what is the way of truth, let that get revealed by the grace of the divine. Here also you see the rishi is not banking on individual personal skill, personal tapobala, nothing. He is calling upon the divine. Please, divine mother, divine father, come, help me, help me, help me realize what? Satya Dharma. There's a beautiful experience of the mother where on an occult realm this was shared and this was later painted also by one of the sadhaks. She is holding a big hammer and one gate is broken. That gate is then that gate is broken. That gate is broken and the light is flowing through that gate. Well, that perfectly resonates with this particular Upanishadic verse. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam pushanam apavruno satya dharmaya drishte. Open it. Open that lid. Yes, this lid is beautiful. It is gold, but it is still not the full truth. How many of us are so happy with the superficial truth that we don't try to go deeper? All that glitters is not gold. They say that isn't it? Sometimes gold also is a good ploy by the divine. Imagine you are in a desert. What would you want? A bar of gold or a glass of water? One bar of gold can get you 100,000 glasses of water, but at that point when you are thirsty and you are craving for a drop of water, you will throw that gold bar away and you will say, give me that glass of water, please. I will survive because that is the truth there. Everything one must understand. So, this lid is something which is sometimes in front of our eyes also. Sometimes people live through a very comfortable life, and in their comfort zones they have got an experience and they say, see, this is my life, I live by this funda, I have got this experience, I am successful, this is the truth, why should I need anything else? Well, maybe that comfort only was a ploy, because in that comfort, if you could try to see beyond and see the other truth also, maybe you will be able to divinize certain aspects of your life which are yet to be divinized, which are yet to be touched by the divine. The divine is waiting. So, like that, the Pushan is there for whom? Is he nourishing some particular followers of a particular cult only? No. Every single person, everyone has to rise. That is the truth. That is what is the universality of the Upanishads. So that is the invocation here given by the Vedic rishis. Satya dharmaya drishtaye. Let me see that truth. And then again that Pushan Bhagwan, more about him has been told. Pushan Nekarsha Yama Surya Prajapatya Vyuha Rashmin Samoha Tejaha Yatte Rupam Kalyantamam Tatte Pashyami Yosa Vasau Purushaha Sohamasmi. I think we have all heard of this Soham. This Sanskrit Mahavakya. Anybody has heard of this? Soham. Oh, what is the meaning of that? Anyone?
No, Ji, I
Yes.
haven't.
You haven't. Okay. It's like Koham. Who am I? Soham. I am that. That's the answer. I am that. That refers to the Brahman. But how does that realization come? This verse is saying. This verse says, "O hey Pushan, O seer, O father of all life, O controller of all lives, O son of illumination, in your golden rays every life thrives. In the luster of the most resplendent forms, empower me to recognize and see the Purusha Supreme and realize that I too am thee." This is the beautiful movement here. How do I get that Soham Asmi realization? I too am thee. First, I have to see you, isn't it? I have to see the divine. Where? In the universe, in the most resplendent forms. The gods are invoked to give us the strength, to give us the Divya Drishti, to recognize the divinity. Recognize the divinity in this world. In this world, give me the strength so I can see the divine in all things bright, all beautiful creatures, all creatures great, maybe small, whatever they are outer. Let me see the splendor of the divine. Your golden rays, they fall, and this entire universe grows because of the grace of those rays. Well, give me the strength now to see that. In Bhagavad Gita, we see something called Vishwarupa Darshana. And before that, there is a beautiful Vibhuti Darshana, isn't it? Vibhuti Darshana is about Darshana of the where is the divine present in the world, in the most best of best places. Among the Merus, I am here among the mountains, I am the Garuda, I am this, I am that, I am Rama among warriors, among Rudras, I am Shankara. What is the meaning of all of it? It is important. This is a very important indication for all of us that let me first start recognizing divinity in the world. If I do not realize that divinity, I will conversely never realize the divinity in myself. If at all I want to realize the divinity in myself, means Soham Asmi, this realization comes last. I should see first see the Purusha is there. Sri Aurobindo has beautifully written in the means it's like in the hand that sends Jupiter spinning, that same hand that has set the Jupiter spinning has put all its cunning to fashion a curl. Says in a coy smile of a bride, in the smallest things, in the biggest things, the divinity is there. We have to have that strength to see. If we don't have the strength, we must at least be wise enough to invoke the divine. Please give me the strength. Maybe one day we will receive it when we are worthy of receiving that. Because that is the first aspect. Unless I see the divinity in the creatures, in the world, in the resplendence of the divine, if I cannot see, then where will I realize that? When will I get that highest realization? Soham asmi. So that is the most important part, and that is where this Upanishad is taking us to. First, understand this, then comes the next part. Vayuranilam amrutam अथेदं भस्मान्तं शरीरम् ॐ कृतो स्मर कृतं स्मर कृतो स्मर कृतं स्मर. The breath living the living into immortality extends, but the physical body burns to ashes and only ends. O hero of action, remember the things that were done. O hero of action, forget not all that was before done. See the breath, we are alive because of the breathing. Actually, we are all connected with pranavayu, though we may be separate in different places. Aren't we all breathing in consciousness and it's air, prana and the apana is going on or not? That is keeping us alive, isn't it? What is going to happen when that stops? Our dreams, our aspirations, for like anything, everything will just vanish because that is a sharira. But this sharira is being supported by a force of consciousness which is connecting us to every living being everywhere. That breath which is entering and leaving, what is it doing? It is actually extending to immortality. But the physical body is burning. Burning into what? Into ashes. Bhasmantam shariram. It's bhasma. It becomes bhasma in the end, into dust afterwards. That is what is going to happen ultimately to the sharira, but not to that consciousness, which is again connected to our immortality. O hero of action, remember the things that were done. O hero of action, forget not all that was before done. Kruto smara krutam smara. I think we all know the story of Anjaneya, isn't it? Hanuman. He had all the siddhis, and then he lost all those siddhis, isn't it? Then he had to take a leap to Lanka. What happened to him? How did he get it back? Anyone? Vijayaji?
He had a curse stating that he will remember only when it is needed. And while starting to Lanka, he started looking outside people who
Yeah.
can actually cross Lanka. That is when the eldest of the clan comes and reminds him how,
Jambuvan, no?
yeah, Jambavanji. He comes and reminds him who he actually is and why he
Yeah.
forgets it. So
Yes,
only
yes,
after
yes.
that, even after that, he wanted to use it for is a journey. So he's not thinking any pride. He's not getting any pride or a thing, but he
He's
uses
doing
it
it
to
for
cross the
the
ocean.
for that. Yes, yes. So, but that remind that somebody is sometimes required, isn't it? Somebody is
Absolutely,
required
Ji.
to tell, yeah, to tell us also, come on, you can do it.
Yeah, motivation is
My hand
definitely a
is on
part.
my hand is on your back.
Ah,
You have
true.
done this, Krutosmara. See, you are capable of doing this. You are a special soul who has done such things before. You can do it again, isn't it? Only somebody who has
Yes.
done before will definitely be able to do again. But then sometimes we don't find people patting our backs. What do we do? We can pat our
We
own
pat
backs, call the
ourselves.
divine. Yes, we can do that because here this verse is not just talking about this birth only. We are in a state, we are in a flow of consciousness. Arjuna and Krishna Samvad is that only, isn't it? Krishna tells Arjuna, the only difference between you, Arjuna, and me, Krishna, is that I remember. I remember all my previous births. You don't know, that is why you're getting so frustrated at the limitations that you are seeing at this moment, these mortal limitations. So, the moment Arjuna gets the smruti, if he gets the smruti, then Arjuna will become Krishna, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So,
He'll become
that
a part of Parabrahma.
yeah, yeah, that is what this is talking about. Krutosmara, Kritam Smara. Understand, we have been born before, we are born now also. If we cannot remember our previous births, it's all right. This birth, let us remember the great strengths that we innately possess. That connection of ours with the divine, that cannot be a greater strength than that. Let us try to use that strength to again rise, because understand the Sharira is nothing. The consciousness is everything. That is what this Upanishad goes on. Let us continue further. The last shloka. अग्नेनयसुपथाराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देववयुनानि विद्वान् योध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठान्ते नम उक्तिं विधेम. O all-knowing fire, O Lord, Agni is invoked. O all-knowing fire, O Lord, on the path of truth you always lead. O omniscient initiator of all actions, please heed. Raise all the hurdles on our path. Touch the vices. Torch the vices. Set us free. I give my words as offerings in complete surrender to ye. So look at that awakened Rishi. What is he doing? He's again going back to the Agni Devata. He is bending. He's saying, Oh Agni, how are you? You are that. You are on the path of truth always. You are the leader. You always rise towards truth. If you watch the Agni, it is always rising, isn't it? You are that. You are the illuminator. You put the truth everywhere. You are the one who is in the Veda. He is called the Kratu. Right now we are told Kritosmara Kritam Smara. Well, the greatest doer is this Kratu, or the doer, that is the Agni, the fire. We need the fire of aspiration to do it, isn't it? If 10-year-old can suddenly go and try to challenge a 90 or like 19-year-old or 50-year-old also, if that fire is there inside, isn't it? Same way that fire in the heart will always keep us young. Age is just a number. They say dharma vruddheshu ayana samikshate. Age is not a factor on those who have walked ahead on the path of dharma. So whether young or whether old, it doesn't matter. It is that fire. And so that fire in the heart is ignited. Oh, all-knowing fire, oh Lord. On the path of truth you always lead. What are we invoking the fire? Come on, burn all those obstructions for truth. Burn the vices that are inside of me. That were those vices which are taking me away from the truth. What am I giving to you? Well, I'm giving to you whatever I have most sincerely. My words. I stand by my words. I value them as much as I value my life. And so I'm offering that into that fire, completely surrendering. Give me that strength, help me, and release me. That is how this Upanishad ends. If you see the beautiful circle, it is not taking us away from the activities, yet in the last, it again ignites that same fire for action and reminding us, let us do that. Let us look at one small prayer on the fire. May it be that the fire of aspiration kindled within us remain alive for eternity. May the light of truth always illumine our steps on our every journey. May the flames of the mystic fire burn to ashes all our faults, hurdles, and vices. May we understand the meaning of complete surrender in the inner sacrifice. So, with this, the Isha Upanishad comes to a close. If we just look at it, the message of the Isha Upanishad is very relevant to all of us. We are going to be walking on this path. We are going to keep walking on this path, not just in this birth, also it is going to go on. But in that journey, if we really connect with that consciousness, maybe the journey would become more freer, more blissful, and we will at least not withdraw from our roles that are assigned by the divine only. We just have to become aware and conscious. That is what this Upanishad, I believe, teaches us. So, with this, we can conclude our Upanishadic journey. Our Bhagavad Gita journey will start in February. But if anybody wishes to ask or share something, or you want to summarize or give some insight, you are most welcome. We have with us today Shashiji, Vijayaji, and Chitraji. Yes, please.
All I can see is an endless path.
I think your voice, why lost the, I'm not able to hear you.
I said, all I can see is an endless path.
Yeah.
There is a light, and it's an endless path.
Yes,
That's
ji.
I can actually feel that. That's all I can say.
Yes, ji. And that is the beautiful one. We all all have to tread on that path only. And that is, we have to pray that we get the strength to walk on it. Yes, ji. Thank you. Yes, Vijayaji, if you would like to add something, or Chitraji, if you want to add something, then we conclude with the Shanti mantra after that. Yes, please.
Sh- Sure, Ji. How much we are open to our experience is what actually comes. And as you rightly mentioned, we have both extremes given. So my experience might be different from yours, but how I am open makes me receive the knowledge. So knowledge is all
Yes.
about being empty and receiving.
Yes, ji. All right, Vijayaji. So, yes, Hari Om. Chitraji, do you want to add something, or we conclude with the Shanti mantra?
Yeah, we can conclude. I'm good. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think we're all good. Okay, let us conclude with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु जय श्री कृष्ण पुनर्मिलामः सी ऑन 2nd of February
Om.
हरि
Thank you,
ओम
Ji.
हरि ओम
Hari Om. Hari
नमस्ते
Om.
थैंक यू जी